Hey guys, Chrono here. I just want to really quickly go over why I haven't put out a video in the last 2 weeks. The reason is I wasn't really happy with the quality of the videos I was putting out, namely the Rainbow Six Siege video. I really wasn't happy with that. It was a lot more of gameplay and a lot less of commentary, and that's kind of what I wanted to gear my channel towards, was commentary. So I will be taking my time in between videos. They will not be coming out every week. However, they will always be coming out on a weekend, just because that's when I have time to work on them. So this week I got a request to do agar.io or Agario. I have no idea. I will stick to pronouncing it Agario because that's how I know it. Agario was a game released last year and quickly gained popularity the world over. That was in no small part due to how easy it was to make content for YouTube and Twitch and that kind of thing. The objective of the game is to reach the top of a leaderboard that lists the top 10 people in your lobby who have the most mass. To get mass, you either need to collect points distributed randomly around the map, or alternately to eat other players who are trying to do the same. To eat another player, you have to have more mass than they do. Equal mass will cancel each other out and be unable to eat each other. Mass is also directly related to speed, with more mass being slower. This is pretty important, but I'll get back to it in a second. Players have two abilities. The first is to eject some mass from yourself. This can be used as bait to lure other cells into a position where you can eat them, or as a sign of friendship, an indication that you want to team up with another player. The second ability is to split yourself in half. This will reduce both of the new cells to 1/2 the mass of the original, but it will propel one of the new cells in the direction of your mouse with quite a bit of velocity. This has several uses. If you have more than double the mass of a nearby cell, it will be much slower than they are. But if you split, the new cell can easily outrun the target and consume them safely. Another potential use is mobility. If you're a large cell, you can split yourself multiple times to form a sort of swarm of smaller cells. Since the swarm has a lot of small cells, they can move a lot faster than if you were to have one large cell with a ton of mass. Both of these uses have one common trait. It's incredibly risky to intentionally make yourself smaller. If an enemy manages to eat even a small player, the size boost from that could be enough to gain enough mass to become twice your size, at which point they can split and absorb you entirely. There's a surprising amount of strategy in the game considering how simple it is. Unfortunately, I don't feel like I have the experience required to give any sort of advice beyond just playing the game a lot. The best I've ever done in Agario is 3rd place on the leaderboard, where I was promptly killed 12 seconds later. Instead of focusing on strategy, I'm actually more interested in looking at Agario from a design perspective, as I like to do. Agario is so incredibly simple that it's one of those things that once you see it, you ask yourself why you didn't think of it earlier, because it's just so incredibly obvious. The controls are the mouse, the W key for ejecting mass, and the spacebar to split, all of which could honestly be rebound if you have a mouse with side buttons on it so that you didn't have to reach around to the keyboard. Simple controls are very good game design. It necessitates using limited mechanics in a multitude of ways. That eject mass button, for example, can be used to help someone else, it can be used to give mass to another one of your own cells to get it bigger to, prevent being eaten, or you can use it to inflate one of those spiky green nodes around the map. Those shoot out, and if a large cell hits it, then it forces the cell to split into a bunch of little ones, so you can just clean those up. You'll see that in the footage I used quite a lot, actually. It's a fairly good tactic. I just used the spectate tool on this so you could see some high level gameplay instead of just me wandering around and dying a lot. Anyway, if you lose, or rather when you lose, the game is very quick to show you the play again button in an attempt to get you to think, ugh, one more round, I can totally do better this time. This is addiction, by the way. It's a very serious problem, and if you let it get the best of you, it can ruin you. Regardless, your cell getting eaten is such a common thing that losing really doesn't affect you anymore. It's a minor inconvenience at worst, the exception being when you're high up on the leaderboards with 2,000 or 3,000 mass before you get split up by the green nodes and eaten by 3 other people on the leaderboard. That's kind of frustrating, admittedly. It's this frustration and ease of replayability that made the game what it is, or rather was. It's nowhere near as popular as it once was when it added all the microtransactions, but that's a separate topic. I'll come back to it at some point. Agario's popularity spawned an entire genre of games, which is an honor that not many games can claim. The premise of Agario was so incredibly simple that anyone could take their 2D game mechanic and put it in a persistent server under a .io domain, and it would work fine. Some games like Vertex.io and Slither.io I actually prefer more than Agario. That said, there are a lot of low-quality IO clones out there who completely failed to capture the same level of popularity for a variety of reasons. So in the end, what makes Agario special? In simplest terms, a combination of the player customization, the simple controls with a deceptively complex strategy, and the fierce competition that comes from such a fragile gameplay loop. Your life could end in the blink of an eye, and that's incredibly thrilling when you get to be the one to make an incredible play and eliminate a very large cell. I'll be completely honest here, I don't like Agar.io at all. I don't think it's fun, and I'm very unlikely to play the game ever again. But with that said, I do respect what it does. Agar.io was one of the most searched for games last year, and that includes AAA games, and that's incredible for a free Flash game that was made in a couple of days by one guy so he could upload it to 4chan. Agar.io does what very few games can do, be so unique and so captivating that it spawns an entire genre of games, and for that, I will tip my hat. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this far. I'm going to do either Black Ops 3 or GTA 5 next week. This will be GTA 5 single player, not online. I want to do a separate video for online. Those are both up on the video right now, so let me know which one of those you want to see. If you want to see a different game, just look at the list I posted in the description, post it in a comment, and I will take a look at that as well. So, I think that's all I got. Yeah, take care. I will see you guys next week.